Shalom. First and foremost, above all things, I want to give all praises and honor and glory. It's definitely due to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua Bashem, Rakah Kodash. I want to give a special double honors to our elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone for teaching us this truth, and peace and salutations to the elect. May the blessing of election be upon your household and your sincere brothers and you few sisters out there that listen and take heed to the true doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua as spoken by his servants, the prophets. And I wanted to go into the video Elder Apostle Tahar did the other day about Isaiah 4:1 is at the door. And because he was talking about a video where these baddies are living in their cars. Now, a couple of years ago, I remember Elder Apostle Tahar talking about Isaiah 4:1, because every now and then he'll do an Isaiah 4:1 at the door topic, and this topic for that particular video was about women living in storage units, because the cost of renting an apartment or something of that nature was impossible to do, and so with that being said, there, as a result, they were living in these storage units. Now you have women who, as they say, baddies, which baddies mean women that are nice to look at. They are living in their cars, and some of them still have that high-minded mindset, where they're still prideful. And so Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to take that pride down, even more. So right now you got a lot of these women who are staying in their cars, and they're still in that spirit of, I don't need a man and all that kind of spirit because of feminism, So let me go into it. Let me go hit few scriptures here. Let me go to Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. So these women are in a spirit where they feel like they're better than a man. They don't need a man. And the Lord created that, and that's part of the curses that were abundant. And see, this is a new thing. This is not something that has been going on all along, because in our culture and in ancient times, period, women look to the men to take care of them. Now these women are in a spirit like, I don't need a man, which is really mentally off, because men need women and women need men. Women need men more than men need women, because they're the weaker vessels. So they need somebody to look over them, guide them. And we see what happens when you don't have a man in your life, especially a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, to direct your steps, and you have to be in the spirit to be willing to be directed. And these women don't want to be directed. A lot of these women that have that prideful, haughty, proud mindset don't want to be told what to do, and as an end result, they make decisions that don't benefit them, like women with multiple baby daddies. What else is there? Up under that mindset of being a feminist, the alternative lifestyle, all these things, are bad decisions, and they go against the Heavenly Father, man. The woman is supposed to be in subjection of the man. And see, the Lord is turning the tide to the point to where these women are going to need a man of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. In order to receive a man of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you have to humble yourselves down. You got to be the opposite of a haughty woman, you know. So here's the proof to show you that these men will be elevated. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah 13. And verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And that's a man of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's not just any man. That's a man of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And Lord willing, we're of that ilk, you know. And the Lord is going to put a special spirit on us to see if these women are worth dealing with, or you just leave them alone. A lot of these women, especially these American women, a lot of them, especially our women, they're going to be kicked to the curb, you know, because they, you know, they have that spirit, you can't tell me what to do. And you know, they question a man's authority. See, in that day, we're not going to be looking for no women like that. You know, what we say go, and if it don't, you know, you don't go along with what we're going with, you know, you might as well take your ass on, because you women are finna see why you need a man. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a very weary land. So being that that's going on, these women are going to see how bad they need a man, you know. And it's going to be, you know, it's going to be very rare to have a man of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man, you know. And so these men are going to be so far in between, and Isaiah described it here in verse 2. It's going to be like a rivers of water. It's like, you know, you walking around in a desert and all of a sudden you find the rivers of water. Well, that's how high the Lord is going to elevate his men, you know. And so with that being said, you know, a lot of these women are going to be turned down because of that spirit that they're under right now. Because see, what's going to happen is a lot of these men that these women desire right now, a lot of them are going to be sent to the spirit world, you know, whether it be civil unrest, whether it be a lot of, once this war escalates, a lot of these women are going, a lot of these men are going to be sent off to go fight, and they're not coming back. And so what's going to happen is it's going to be so few men, because you got to understand there's more women than there is men here on the earth. And it was designed that way because a man was supposed to be with multiple women, not just one woman. But, you know, Esau, he set it up that way, and because he understands the scriptures say be fruitful and fill the earth, and that's what an Israelite was supposed to do. But, you know, they want to control the population and all this kind of stuff, and there's enough land, enough water, food for everyone to live. But because this devil is the devil and he's in charge right now, and only for a moment, you know, before the Lord takes him out of the picture, you know, he's setting it up like that. But it's going to come a time when the Lord is going to take away this pridefulness that begins with Esau, and it's going to trickle down to Jake, and in particular Eve. Eve has a very lofty look. So these women are going to be punished, and you can see it in the spirit. The spirit of the Israelite woman. She doesn't want to be told what to do, and it's not talking about all Israelite women, but if the shoe fit, wear it. You know, you don't want to be told what to do and things of that nature. Well, guess what? you will be rejected by the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 11. I'll start in verse 11. The lofty looks of man shall be humble, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua alone shall be exalted in that day. Yeah, so that haughtiness and the lofty looks of man and these women is going to be taken down by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And guess what? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to be exalted as well as they should be. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He is and He exists. And then you have the Son's name, which is Yahushua, which means He that delivers. So they're going to be the ones that are going to be exalted as well as they should be, you know. And so, you know, we do it right now, beginning with our elder apostles on down, being taught this word. So our job is to go out here and prophesy, you know. So let's go to verse 12. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up he shall be brought low. And so that begins with Esau, because he's the most haughtiest and the most loftiest and prideful and very proud out of all of them. Then you have the Israelite woman, beginning with the at the top with Judah, and it reaches on down to Issachar, you know. So that people, you know, those people who are in that mindset, they're going to be taken down. But in particular, we're talking about the women, you know. So I mean, it's crazy. Here it is. You don't have a pot to piss in nor one to throw it out of, and you still want to be prideful. You got one woman. She was talking about, you know, talking about men who had cars that were renting them out, and they weren't you know, they were playing the part, but they weren't really living the part, so to speak, you know, doing all this attention getting to receive women or what have you, you know, or receive like they really have money and when they really don't, or living out of their means, you know. So that's the mindset of some of these jakes too. And see, these women, they see it and they call it out, but at the same time, you know, here they are, they don't have nothing going for themselves, because a lot of them are models, and you know, they can't do nothing else. They can't cook, they can't clean, they don't know how to do nothing else. So all they do is just, you know, make a living off their looks. And one woman was saying that, you know, sometimes, you know, it's good that the modeling game, you know, the modeling jobs are okay, you make some pretty good money, and then there's times when you don't make that much money. So she doesn't have steady income, you know. So being that she don't have stable income, she has to live in a car. And here she is in this mindset of thinking, well, hey, I ain't got to do, you know, all I got to do is this, and you know, I'm gonna be all right. Not realizing that, yeah, you're you know, you don't have steady income, you know. So, you know, a lot of these women that are in that mindset and still thinking that they don't need a man, a lot of them are going to find out real fast that they're going to need one. And if you're not under a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you're going to be destroyed, man. So a lot of these women, see, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua sees the mindset of these women, man. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. Moreover, the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with a stretched forth neck and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. And just as we speak, there's a young lady walking by me, you know, with scantily dressed and pregnant, and she has a very haughty mindset. You know, she always has an evil look on her face. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good example of these women that are haughty. You know, she doesn't. You know, just the spirit reveals the way she acts that she's you know, you can't tell her nothing, don't want to be told nothing, you know. And people like that, these women like that, they're going to be destroyed, man. Read it again. Isaiah 3:16. Moreover, the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks, wanton eyes, walking and missing as they go, making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore, the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. Yeah. And many of, you know, of our women are literally bald-headed. You know, that's why you see them with weaves and extensions, wigs, so on and so on, you know, because they don't have no hair. Remember, the glory of a woman is her hair. But the Lord has punished her by taking her hair away, you know. And some of them do have hair, but the Lord put the spirit on them to cut their hair off, you know. So this shows you our women are all fucked up, man, you know. So the Lord has to take us away from this madness that we're abundant, and they don't even realize they're spiritually and mentally sick, you know. So the Lord is taking away that. And at the same time, when you read on down to verse 18 on down to verse 25, the Lord is going to take away all these things that these women have. You know, all these, you know, being able to change your clothes and being able to take baths and showers, which most of these women just take showers. They don't take baths, but the Lord is going to take all these things away from them. Bonnets, because these women love to wear these bonnets these days, and we're gonna take away all these things. And when you go to verse 25, it says, "Thy men shall fall by the sword." Yes, see, a lot of these men that they're dealing with, they're gonna be in the civil unrest. They're gonna be in not only civil unrest, but it's going to also be some that's going to be sent over to overseas to fight once this war escalates, you know. So a lot of these, you know, these Pookie and Ray Ray guys are going to be, you know, they're going to be sent over. Verse 26, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. And a lot of these women deserve to be desolate, man. A lot of them deserve to be in that position because of your haughtiness, because of your pridefulness, because you're being proud, this lofty mindset, having this shitty ass attitude. So the Lord has to bring them low. So even though you know, living in your car, you know, or whatever, you know, you're still in a mindset to be proud. This woman was talking about she still she wants the good life. She wants a man that's got money, you know, but yet and still you're living in your car, you know. So this shows you the mindset of these women and why the Lord's got to take all these things away and bring these women down and humble them, right along with Esau and Jake as well. You know what I'm saying? He's not you know, Jake as well, because a lot of these Jakes are in that mindset as well. Isaiah 4:1, I'm gonna close out. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Yeah, so a lot of these women are going to come up to us, you know, and going to be wanting to be, gonna want us to deal with them, and if they're not in a spirit of being humble and lowly and meek, and they're gonna have to bring something to the table. Like, it ain't just, your looks that's gonna get you in the door. See, and even Jake is starting to wake up to the point to where it's like, shit, you got to bring something to the table. There's a video now where I think it's the video saying, men are saying, keep your vagina. We don't need it, because it's so much that comes with dealing with these women these days, so a lot of men don't have been burnt by a lot of these women, literally and mentally, you know what I'm saying? So it's to a point a lot of, guys are stopped dealing, you know what I'm saying? Which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you dealing with a woman. It's just that, just in the right manner, But anyway, in that time, only lowly, meek-hearted women are going to be accepted in that time, man. And the Lord's going to put a special spirit on us to understand and see if these women are sincere or not. So, Lord willing, I hope and pray that this was the edifying lesson. Once again, I'm going to give all praises and honor and glory that's definitely due to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, Rakak, Radash. Till the next time, Lord willing, I'll say shalom.